Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Radharamana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Shtotara Satasi Srimad. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की श्री प्रभुपाद की प्रभुपाद अनुगा की सामवेत भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 27. Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivrita Gunavrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Please repeat. Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivrita Gunavrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Namo Kinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Namaha. All obeisances unto you. Akinchana vitaya. Unto the property of the materially impoverished. Nivrita. Completely transcendental to the actions of the material modes. Guna. Material modes. Vrittaye. Affection. Atma Aramaya. One who is self-satisfied. Shantaya. The most gentle. Kaivalyapataye. Unto the master of the monists. Namaha. Bowing down. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: My obeisances are unto you who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monists. Purport: A living being is finished as soon as... Can you put off this fan? It makes too much noise. A living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be, in the real sense of the term, a renouncer. A living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable. A student sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. A servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world not for nothing but for something tangible and spiritual value. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. They were very big men in the worldly sense. Goswamis were ministers in the government service of Bengal, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was the son of a big zamindar of his time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. The devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have a very secret treasure house in the lotus feet of the Lord. There is a nice story about Srila Sanatana Goswami. He had a touchstone, and this stone was left in a pile of refuse. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked Sanatana for the most valuable thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. Akinchana means one who has nothing to give materially. A factual devotee or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is the only property of a factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami. Otherwise, the specific example is given for the neophyte devotees just to convince them that material hankerings and spiritual advancement go ill together. Unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set his example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision. Advancement of material vision or material civilization is great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Such material advancement entangles the living being in the bondage of material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. Such material advancement is called anartha, or things not wanted. Actually, this is so. In the present context of material advancement, one uses lipstick at a cost of 50 cents. And there are so many unwanted things, which are all products of material conception of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of human life. The attempt to reach the moon is another example of spoiling energy, because even if the moon is reached, the problems of life will not be solved. Devotees of the Lord are called akinchanas because they have practically no material assets. Such material assets are all products of the material modes of material nature. They foil spiritual energy, and thus, the less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual progress. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with material activities. All his acts and deeds, which are exhibited even in this material world, are spiritual and without affection for the modes of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance, in and out of the material world, are transcendental, and one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in the material world but will go back to Godhead. The material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over material nature. This hankering is due to the interaction of the three modes of nature, and neither the Lord nor the devotees have attachment for such false enjoyment. Therefore, the Lord and the devotees are called Nivrita Gunavritti. The perfect Nivrita Gunavritti is the Supreme Lord because he never becomes attracted by the modes of material nature, whereas the living beings have such a tendency. Some of them are entrapped by the illusory attraction of material nature. Because the Lord is a property of the devotees and the devotees are the property of the Lord reciprocally, the devotees are certainly transcendental to the modes of material nature. That is a natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees who approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries and poverty or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. The unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendentally attached to one another. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate, and therefore he is called Atma Rama, self-satisfied. Self-satisfied as he is master of all monists who seek to merge into the existence of the Lord. Such monists merge within the personal effulgence of the Lord called the Brahmajyoti, but the devotees enter the transcendental pastimes of the Lord which are never to be misunderstood as material. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayasri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Very beautiful verse, famous verse. Namo Akinchana Vittaya means property of those people who don't have anything. Nice definition. Suppose you are poor, then Krishna can become your property. If you are very rich, it is difficult to make Krishna your property. So it does not mean that we should strive to become poor. But it means that people who have value for Krishna don't have value for anything material, because they have already achieved that level in bhakti, and therefore their value for bhakti increases so much. That's why we must understand what is valuable and what is of value. These are two things. In the material world, what is valuable is money. That artificial value has been created for money. And people all value everything according to money. That has become the measurement, that has become the scale by which you look at everything else. Some of the boys were telling me that if I don't earn money, if I don't have value materially, how much property I have, what is my salary, how much you have in the bank, all these things are necessary to be told if I am looking for a girl for marriage. It is mainly on the basis of your money that you have and your potential to create more money that I can get married. So everybody is working very hard, both the girl and the boy, to create material value. To create material value. Then only you will become valuable. Then only you will become valuable. If you have lot of money, sometimes, even if you don't have other types of assets, you become valuable. Your father is very, very rich, but you don't look so good and all that, but you will become very important. You will get married by the best person because you have value, you are valuable. So that is being spoken about here in the material world. Value is fixed by what people think is valuable. But all the people are illusioned by material nature. So their value is also illusory. What is valuable is also illusory. So what we think is very valuable really is not at all valuable. Really is not valuable. What we think is not valuable actually is very valuable. That's what is the whole point. If you are not taught about Krishna consciousness right from your younger age, you will value something else more. It becomes difficult to shift values at some point of time in your life. But from the younger age, Kaumaram Acharat Prajna, if you create value for spiritual life, and if you create value for Krishna consciousness, for Bhakti, then you will see that that becomes valuable. That is why Prabhupada had to set up a separate society wherein the value systems are 180 degrees different. Managing an institution is very, very difficult, especially a spiritual institution. But it is necessary to create values. And that is what we should uphold inside the society of devotees. Uphold the value of Krishna consciousness. Anybody who has got bhakti, anybody who performs devotional service becomes valuable in this society. We don't value if you are simply materially having an asset. Of course, if you use that asset for Krishna, you become valuable. But we don't simply give you value because you are rich, you are a scientist, you are very famous, you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are that. No, it's not very valuable. But if you have bhakti, then you become very valuable. You can see how valuable Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is. He has become so valuable to the whole world. People, respect him, hold him with reverence. Even those who don't know bhakti, hold him with reverence. Why? Because he has become very valuable. How he has become valuable? Because of Krishna consciousness. Dhira adhira janapriya priyakaro. In our study, we were discussing that these Goswamis were so wonderful personalities. Even the ruffians and the gentle people valued them. Even the demons would value Narada Muni. He was very good friends with Hiranyakashipu, with Ravana, everybody. Right? They don't like the Devatas, but they don't mind Narada Muni. It's valuable. Even for the demons. So, Prabhupada is respected by all sorts of people. All sorts of people. Why? Because they know he is holding something valuable. Wisdom, knowledge. So how to create value in your life? How to create value in your life? First you must make yourself valuable. When we derive bhakti, when we actually become devotees, we are increasing our value. You must never think that I have become devotee now, I gave up my money, I gave up my job, I gave up my this thing, oh, people in the world don't respect me anymore. You see, this is the situation with people who are neither here nor there. But you must be proud of being a devotee, Prabhupada said, because you are very valuable to Krishna. And what do these people know? They don't know the value. Right? So you must teach them what is of value. That is one of the biggest problems for us, is to create value for Krishna consciousness in the material world, where people have got a different value system. Now it is mentioned here, Namo Akinchana Vittaya. What a deep prayer this is. Kunti Devi is praying, O property, is addressing Krishna as, my obeisances to you, who is the property of those who don't have anything. Very powerful prayer. Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivrita Guna Vrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. 4 qualities are mentioned here of Krishna in just a very cute paragraph, verse. Akinchana Vittaya, those who don't have anything will hold your lotus feet as the greatest property. You offer value to those who don't have anything materially, and you make them very valuable. So Krishna is the greatest valuable possession. Bhakti is the greatest valuable possession. This we must be convinced about. As we progress in Krishna consciousness, we know more and more this is true. Nothing is of value but devotion to the Lord. Nothing is of value. Everything else disappears. It's all temporary value. But devotion to the Lord is of immense value. In order to create that devotion to the Lord, we perform devotional service to the Lord. That's called sadhana. So we must know why we are engaged in sadhana, why we are engaged in devotional service as sadhakas. We want to create value. But for a devotee of the Lord already who has established bhakti, he is performing devotional service out of great pleasure and happiness. Prabhupada explained this as a ripe mango and a raw mango. The raw mango, kacha, will slowly become ripe. It's only a matter of time, he said. It's only a matter of time. It will slowly become ripe. So when we are rendering devotional service in sadhana, we may not experience pleasure, but gradually we will experience pleasure. We can experience pleasure when we are allowed to sleep. If not, sometimes we sleep in the Bhagavatam class. So we can experience pleasure when we eat good prasadam. These are all our pleasures. Otherwise, other times we are fighting to chant Hare Krishna. We are fighting that don't give me this seva, don't give me that seva. This is the meaning of a conditioned soul. Don't do that. And we are on the brink. This is what is raw mango. I know I have knowledge about devotional service, I know it is correct, everything, but I don't have taste for it. Like in Sikshashtakam, Anuraga. I don't have rag, I don't have attachment for the holy name, Lord Chaitanya is saying. I know the holy name is everything, but I don't have rag, attachment for the holy name. I am so unfortunate. I know, but I don't have. I am not able to accomplish it. So sadhana means something like that. I know it is great, but I don't have taste. I don't take pleasure out of it. So gradually that turns into a pleasurable activity. I like to do this. Anything for Krishna I like to do because your value is increased. Value for bhakti is increased and therefore you like to be engaged in bhakti. You don't worry about anything else. Raghunath Das Goswami, Prabhupada is talking about him. He left his whole father is a big zamindar, Govardhana Majumdar, and his father's brother Hiranya Majumdar. He left them and he went and landed up with Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, when he welcomed him, he told, "It's very good that you have left your house. Your house is a big toilet. In the toilet there is stool. Inside the stool there are worms. That is your father." He told this to him when he came. Purisha even with bhujam. He described, the hole in the toilet? That is where your father lives inside the stool as worms with his brother. And you have left that and Krishna has saved you from there and brought you. This is value description. All your money, all the greatness, all the material things your father has is stool. And you have understood that. That's why you have come running to me. You have value for me. Right? I told you when you first approached me, when Lord Chaitanya was first approached, when he was in Shantipur by Raghunath Das, he said, "You go back to your house. Don't be a markata vairagya na koribe loka dekhana. Don't be a monkey vairagi. Go back home. And yata yogya bhunja anashakta hona. Whatever you are supposed to enjoy materially, as per your yogyata, as per your horoscope, whatever it is, you do it within Varnashrama. Anashaktahana, don't get attached. You do. At the right time, Krishna will give you the opportunity. When you are ready, He'll give you the opportunity for living." And that opportunity came. And he came running to Lord Chaitanya. So he told him this. It's very good you are able to escape that house. This is about value. To such a rich man who's so rich he has villages, he owns villages and towns. To him, his son is run away and coming. And the way Raghunath Das Goswami understands what Lord Chaitanya has told him, he shows it in action. As soon as he has come, this is what Lord Chaitanya tells him. And he just absorbs it. And then he becomes such a vairagi. He didn't want anything material. Becomes such a great vairagi. And Lord Chaitanya become very pleased with his austerities. So what is vairagya? Vairagya means shifting your value. Shifting your value. I don't consider this valuable anymore. When Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, both of them escaped from the Nawab Hussain Shah, Rupa Goswami is known to have 2 boatfuls of gold. He brought it and distributed it. I was telling the other day, I wished I had seen him for the project, I would have taken something from he would have gladly given. Many people here are not giving the money that's required, although they have so much money. What is of value? If you know it is of value, you would offer. But for many people, we are struggling for fundraising because we are trying to create value in them. If you give for the, no, I want to give for Annadanam. For me, that is valuable. Your temple is not valuable. Every temple, they will tell. So you get stuck trying to convince this fellow what is valuable. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki. So all the time we are facing this situation of what is valuable and what is not. But devotees must be very convinced that bhakti is most valuable. That Krishna consciousness is most valuable. They must be very convinced. Prabhupada told the sannyasi disciples, some of them were young Americans. So he told, when you are a sannyasi, 2 things you must remember. You will go to all these big places, rich man's house. Don't go there and think, all this I gave up. Don't look at his beautiful wife and think, I gave up my wife. These 2 things you should never think. If you think, you'll be finished. At the root, Prabhupada is, what a powerful instruction he gave. Sannyasa means you should not think like this in your mind. Which means, you have given up all these things, you should not look back on it. Because it's not valuable, only you gave it up. Don't give it value again. Don't give value again for that. You always remember that Krishna is with you. Krishna consciousness is valuable. The holy name, which is so valuable, is with you. This is how we have to meditate. Devotees have to deeply understand what is the holy name that is given to me. It's the greatest wealth. It has simply been given to you. It's most valuable. That's why you see here Sanatana Goswami's story. The Brahmana who came suddenly had a feeling, why did Sanatana Goswami put it in the waste paper basket? He went and asked him. Sometime he will ask. In life we come to know. Sometime in a life we all come to ask this question. What is the use of life? What did I do till now? What is valuable? What have I done? Oh, I married my daughter away. I got my son a job. I built a house for this son. I looked after my parents and everything. Finally, what did I get? Finally, what did I get for myself? I did all my duty. So what? So what? What do you get? This is where the real problem comes. People ask this question and become highly frustrated inside. I'm going to die now. Finally, what is it for me? I looked after that person, I did that duty, I did this duty, everything. What about me? What will happen to me? I am going to die now. None of these people whom I helped and all those things are with me. Then only you will realize that you have done a lot of things, but they are not valuable. For you, it's not of value. Even though you may have dutifully done it. So the point is to note that when a devotee passes away, he is very happy. Why? I spent my life doing devotional service for Krishna. I chanted the holy name, I distributed the holy name, I distributed Prabhupada's books, I introduced many people to Krishna consciousness, I took part in building a huge temple for Krishna. I did all these things. These are of solid value. Even when I die, they will remain as my asset. They will remain as my asset. That thought will make him feel very happy. Because he knows that is valuable. That will remain with him forever as his asset. That is the meaning of this shloka. We should create assets in our life by performing devotional service. You become rich by devotional service. Prahlad Maharaj example, he said if you stand in front of the mirror and decorate yourself, it is you who is becoming beautiful. It is not that we should think devotional service is for Krishna. He is benefiting. I am serving him. He is happy. What about me? This is material thinking. This is material thinking. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, no, you are only benefiting, not him. He doesn't need your chota mota service. He is the Supreme Lord. He is allowing you to serve him so that you will get benefit. So that you will get benefit. He is valuing what service you are doing. Like Krishna giving great value to the little flat rice that Sudama has brought. Kinchit karoti urvapi swadatta matram falgu api bhuri kari. Mayo. This way, Krishna is giving value to devotional service. It does not matter. It is only flat rice so much. But he makes a big show about it in the palace. That's what Sudama is recollecting. What a big noise you made about my little avil that I brought for you. But Falgu api bhuri kari. You did so many things for me. You massaged my feet. You put me on the cot. I slept. You gave me new clothes. You gave me a fantastic feast. You gave such welcome. Nothing of that you spoke. But that simple avil I bought, Falgu api bhuri kari. Falgu means it is nothing. Bhuri kari. You made it like a big thing that I have done. For Krishna, it's very important. For Krishna, it's very important. So therefore, if somebody comes here and offers a fruit, a flower, it's very valuable for the Lord. Some living entity is coming and with great effort he is offering Patram Phalam Toyam Pushpam Yome Bhaktiya Prayachati. The Lord is relating. Little seva you do, He immediately reciprocates with you. Because in your material life for so long you never did this. You must have done even Gyan, Karma, Yoga, but you never did Bhakti. Very rarely a person will get a chance. So Prabhupada has created opportunity for so many living entities to perform service and become enlisted in devotion. This way increase their wealth. This way increase their wealth. So, now they are talking about layoffs. Everybody is getting laid off from the high-tech companies and all that. Actually, Prabhupada is giving job to everybody. Anybody can take job in our society. We are no problem about layoff. We never lay you off. Krishna never lays you off. Isn't it? Devotional service, if you start doing, He'll never say get out. He'll never cut you off. He's saying, come. Manmana bhava madbhakta madhyaji maam namaskuru. I will hire you as my servant. I will give you rich benefit, salary and all nothing. I will give you bhakti, which is so valuable, I will give you. Maya, on the other hand, is also employing you, plus giving you a few slaps. It's like being in a concentration camp. The German concentration camp, Nazis. Once they take you inside, you have no chance of escaping that place. You can't escape. You can only die. You can only die. And if you don't die, they'll put you in the gas chamber and make you die. They'll work you like nothing till you completely finished. And then if you don't die, even then they'll put you in the gas chamber and give you death. Actually, Maya is like that. He'll employ you under the three modes of material nature. You're running from here and there and doing many things. In the end, you will die also under Maya. The only way to escape Maya is by death. But only temporarily. Again you are born into Maya. Jatasya dhruvo murtyur dhruvam janma mratasya cha. Again you will be born. So it's permanent employment with Maya. And regularly you will die and suffer. On the other side, Krishna is telling, Janmamurti Jaravyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. My employment, no birth, no death, no old age, no disease. Simply enjoy with me and you will have devotion. I'll give you devotion. I'll keep you busy in devotional service. So two types of employment. People who choose Maya's employment simply suffer. People who choose Krishna's employment simply prosper and become more and more happy. So that is why it is mentioned, one who is really rich is a person who is intelligently investing in bhakti. That is a rich person. So Prabhupada has tried to create this value system. And we are all trying to do that. When we preach to people, we actually make them have value for bhakti. The holy name, the Bhagavad Gita, devotional services of value. It's a permanent value. This is what we're trying to tell them. And if they take it up, they become valuable persons for themselves. See, the world may not think you're doing something valuable. In those days when devotees were doing kirtan on the road in America, the fellows will stop in the car and say, why don't you go get yourself a job? Why don't you go get a job? Why are you simply hanging around and doing some bhajan on the roadside? Go something useful. For them, what you're doing is useless. You fellows have no job, you are begging on the street by chanting some hymns. Why can't you go and work and get job? See the big difference in the way people will view. Right? That's why I remember first when I came to Coimbatore and I was going to meet all the big people. I remember his name starting with M, I forget. Very rich man and known to be very powerful. He made me sit down and very respectful and all that. Then when he heard that I was an engineer and I had very good educational qualification and gold medalist and this and that, he suddenly became more and more angry. He said, what are you doing then? Why did you leave here? Then I said, I want to practice Krishna consciousness. I want to distribute. Nonsense. You are foolish. Who asked you to do this? You are a great national waste. The country has invested so much money in making you engineer and you're going and doing this. Who told you this? He shouted at me. I said, what's wrong with this? How can people get so angry? They'll say, okay, you like to do that. I don't value that. You can go. Okay, if you want something like that. But he was so angry. He took it so personally that I have taken up Krishna consciousness, although I am capable of. It was very shocking to me. Why do people do this? Why are you so angry? It's my life. What's your problem? What's your problem? You should never do this. So we never know what, people actually don't know. Nati vidu swartha gatimihi Vishnu. Prahlad very nicely captured it. People don't know what is good for them, what is valuable for them. Swartha, they don't know. They don't know. So there is no point going by public opinion. These valuable things are only told to you by Krishna, by Guru. The bulk of the people in this world don't know what is of value. It's people like Prabhupada who create value for people in this world. People become valuable when they become devotees. That's of value. That's why we look after devotees very carefully. Because they are valuable to Krishna. They have the valuable product of bhakti in them. So they are very valuable, they have to be looked after very carefully. Not that those who don't have bhakti can be killed. They are not valuable. They are potentially valuable. Once they also possess bhakti, they will also become very valuable. This is how Prabhupada saw people who are, this is the meaning of dhira, adhira, janapriya. A devotee he looks after those who are devotees, and he tries to make those who are not devotees devotees. He sees potential value because all of them have to become Krishna conscious. They belong to Krishna. So everybody is valuable because they're all belonging to Krishna. Some are separated, some are connected. That's the difference. That's the only difference. There's by little patience and little, education. Gradually they become Krishna conscious. They will gradually become Krishna conscious. So in this way, we are all engaged by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in giving people Krishna consciousness and accepting Krishna consciousness for ourselves. We should take this seriously and we should execute that because it's valuable. It's important. Om Tat Sat Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Any question or comment?
People don't have money, he speaks Krishna consciousness, and those who possess material benefits, they won't come. So, donors, it's not possible to cultivate them, or it's possible to cultivate them.
Whether the people who donate, can they become devotees or not? Of course they can. They have done seva to Krishna by giving their wealth, and there is a good chance that if they pursue a little bit, they will become devotees. But we have to see, we have to meet them, we have to talk to them, we have to give them Krishna consciousness. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it does not. Most of them are very, very busy with their material lives. They want to, but they don't have time like that. That's what they will tell. But there is great potential for them to become Krishna conscious. Prabhupada wanted that. He introduced that life membership scheme and he said, give them my books, they should read my books and all the life members will become devotees. Prabhupada had a plan that all my life patron members who may enroll, they should become devotees by reading books, coming with their family, associating with devotees, and gradually they'll become devotees. That was his plan. How to make the donors into devotees, because they've done some important seva, giving their wealth. Yes, we must. We don't simply collect and keep quiet. The person has done some seva. We want to give him a chance for Krishna consciousness. Only that you have to be careful how you cultivate them. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Another question. Haribol, great insight and realization in today's class, Maharaj, especially on actual value. Hare Krishna, best to be employed under Lord Krishna. Yes, we are opening up for employment. Please send your application.